Regretting divorce.
What do you think you're doing? How did you even get in here?
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. You can support uncensored conversations via Cash App or buying your girl a coffee. Hey y'all, I just wanted to pop in here and talk about this concept of regretting your divorce. Women are coming out in droves, finally being honest about how they feel about being divorced. For a lot of these women, they made the choice, okay? They are the ones who took the leap out of the marriage boat. And they're finding that the grass, it isn't always greener on the other side. So a lot of people are finding themselves making permanent decisions based on temporary feelings and then acting surprised when the reality does not match what they imagined. So you have some married people that think, if I leave this marriage, that's gonna be an upgrade to my life. Things will be so much better if I did not have my spouse. And the reality is, when you leave a marriage, there are a lot of trade-offs.
I am honestly really sad right now, if you can tell. That's like the weirdest thing about grief is like, didn't cry for 2 days, was good for 2 days, and now I'm by myself, and it's just like, it's here again, you know? It's, the tsunami is back. Like, it's just so hard, and like, I'm frustrated because my whole world got disheveled. And I feel like he has moved on, and he is healed and moved on and doesn't care about me, which I don't want him to come back into my life, but it still just sucks, you know? I can't imagine, thank you guys for sharing stuff, like stories that you've gotten through this and it's been however many years, because I could not imagine that. I can't imagine being with someone for a really long time and going through this. I was only with him for 4.5 years, 1 year married. I could not imagine, though, being with him for longer and this happening, but it's just so sad sometimes, and it's like so hard to have to learn how to do life by yourself again. You don't have that person to call all the time or that best friend to go do things with, and that's what scares me. I've never truly been alone and worked on myself, and I'm terrified of it.
I'm not saying that there aren't reasons to leave a marriage. I'm not saying that leaving a marriage is always wrong. So before you start thugging and trauma dumping in the comment section, I'm not saying that there are no reasons to ever get divorced. Absolutely there are. But we're talking about those situations where women leave marriages just frivolously. They do it because they just have a feeling, or they want to go find themselves, whatever the hell that means. Reasons that just show that you didn't value the marriage to begin with. Marriage is supposed to be built on commitment, partnership, long-term thinking. That's the overall purpose. That's the reason why they say till death do us part, because that is a long-term commitment. However, people are treating it like it's a feeling, it's a vibe, it's something that you leave when the feeling is no longer the same. People are not treating marriage like a lifelong commitment. It's almost like, oh, well, I'll be married for now, and oh, well, wherever the wind takes me, I'll just leave the marriage. And that completely bastardized the entire concept of being married. The sad part is people don't realize that their feelings are temporary. So for instance, you might go through a season where you're very angry with your spouse. You might go through a season where you guys just cannot stand each other. Things are tough, and you might not be happy with them the entire time. But understand, feelings are fleeting. Relationships, they're like roller coasters. You have your ups, you have your downs. Now, granted, if the roller coaster is just completely broken, then yes, maybe you need to jump ship. But I'm talking about those situations where people, they feel like, oh, we drifted apart. But then if you ask them, okay, well, did you guys try to drift back together? Like, did you guys put in an effort to try to come back together, talk more, reinvestigate the relationship, see what it is that caused you guys to drift off in the first place? And it's just like, oh, I don't know. I just didn't feel. He changed. I changed. But it's like, when you're in a marriage, you're supposed to change together. And if one person changes, then there should be a conversation being had. But people are so willing to just throw marriage out the window. They're just so willing to throw it away and not truly honor that commitment. People expect that their lives are just going to be so much better once they leave the marriage. And when reality hits that you're a 40-year-old woman with 3 kids, then you have a lot of these women running to the internet saying, oh my God, I miss my husband. Oh my God. You even had this one situation, and this, oh my goodness, it was so cringe. You had this woman who divorced her husband and then came back, broke into his house, set up this whole little cutesy, and I say that in air quotes because really it's creepy, set up this little cutesy proposal with flowers and a note and all sorts of crazy stuff, basically asking him, you left me. And these broads are running to the internet thinking that we're gonna feel sorry for them when they are the ones who left their marriage. They are the ones who gave up, and not for a good justifiable reason. Like, for instance, him beating you up. I'm not talking about situations like that, or him cheating on you. I'm not talking about situations like that, or him harming the kids. I'm definitely not talking about situations like that. But I just feel we just drifted. I'm not always happy. Well, did you try to find happiness with that man? Did you see, hey, maybe there's something going on with him that's causing, like, there's no empathy more times than not in these situations. It's all about how the woman feels. I didn't feel loved. I didn't. But you didn't even take the time to consider, okay, well, is your husband going through something too? Maybe y'all both are going through different things and you need to work on that. But no, I'm unhappy, so let me just dissolve the marriage and see if I can move on and find something better. And they'll completely destroy their household, destroy their children's lives.
So recently I caught up with an old friend, and she was telling me that she got divorced. And I was so surprised because her and her husband were such a cute couple, and they had been together for 11 years. So I asked her, like, what happened? I figured something bad happened. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had 3 kids, and I just got lonely and bored. And she says that when she would bring it up, like, he would take her out, but it was just boring to her. Like, she needed some excitement in her life. She just felt like she was just a mom and a wife, and her husband just wasn't doing that for her. And she had other friends that had, you know, boyfriends, or like they had just got married, and they were always going out, always going on vacation, always partying, like going to the club, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, and they did none of that. And when she would bring it up to her husband would always tell her, like, I gotta work. Like, you know, they had a big house, they had nice things, like, he was just trying to work. So they ended up getting divorced, and now, you know, she's single, she lives alone, she's working, and she's dating. So then I told her, oh, well, that must be exciting, like dating and stuff. And she's like, no, I fucking hate it. And I was like, why? And she's like, because all they want to do is just have fun. They just want to go to the club, they just want to go to the bar, they just want to hang out, have a good time, and then that's it. She said, no one wants to help me out. Like, I'm trying to find someone that's going to help take care of my kids. She's like, I just want someone to be a provider, not just a good time. So I was all like, well, wasn't that what your husband was doing? And she's like, I know. And I guess now her ex-husband is dating someone, like, seriously. They have been divorced for a total of 3 years, and he has been dating this girl for 2 years. She has 2 kids, and they're already living together. She says that he's fully taking care of her.
The fact of the matter is, feelings are temporary. They come and they go. Happiness is fleeting. It comes, it goes. It is not something that will be constant in any relationship. I don't care how much you love that man. I don't care how much you love that woman. You're not going to be happy the whole time. And that's okay. That's human. It's unrealistic to think you're going to be happy the entire time. So making a life decision based on only a feeling, that's just going to lead to unstable outcomes. They leave their marriages and they think that it's just going to be constant excitement, emotional fulfillment at all times, and effortless connection. But the truth is, long-term relationships, they require work, they require patience, they require adjustment. And when you're trying to find a new long-term relationship and you already have all these other things going on with work life, trying to take care of yourself, if you got kids, managing your kids, trying to find another relationship is going to be so much more difficult because of all your other expectations and responsibilities. I do think that social media plays a big role in this. Social media really fuels that grass is greener concept because people see the highlights of others on their Instagram reels and they think, oh my God, I want my life to be like that. If I leave my husband, then my life will be like that. I get to be a city girl all over again, even though you're 40. Okay, Sharon, you're 40. You're not gonna be a city girl. You're just gonna be the old woman in the club. Let's be so for real here. People are comparing their regular schmegular lives to artificial clips of other people's lives and saying, I want my life to be like that. They think ditching their husband is the way to get that. But what they end up with, it's almost like, when you order something from Shein or Wish, what you ordered versus what you got. They think they're ordering excitement and happiness and freedom, but really what they're ordering is loneliness, regret, and the growing pains of starting over.
Is there anybody out there who got divorced and regrets it? Especially women. Women 35, 40, 45. Please tap in and let me know, because at this point I am probably not 99, maybe 89% sure that I'm probably going to be divorced within the next year. So I can't stay with this. I can't be with you. I can't. And I feel like I've tried so hard. So I've been married for 3 years. People always ask me. And it's really gotten to the point where it's the past probably 2 months have just been the worst. To where it's maybe we just call it. Maybe we just call a spade a spade. But then I'm I remember when my parents got divorced, and I do not want to put, my son through that. But also, doing it for the kids is not enough. Love is not enough. Getting married, I kind of regret getting married for love, because I damn sure didn't get married for money. But I'm also just as a Christian, shouldn't get divorced. No, whatever it is, we can work it out. It's you and me against the world. But it's damn, do I want to be miserable? How long do I want to be miserable for? And the thing that I also hate is I feel like people don't share this part of marriage. When people are in the thick of it, because I was watching this interview with DeVal and Kadeen, and I think he said the first 3 to 5 years of their marriage was like hell, but they stuck it out, and now they've been married for 10, 15 years, and they, seem to be happy. I don't know, but it's
The whole freedom narrative is just crazy. People really think that they're happier when they're single. And while this could be true for some, it most certainly could be true for some. For most of us, that's just not the case. Being with somebody else does bring happiness. And a lot of these people that think, I'll be happier when I'm single, they don't consider the dating market realities, okay? They don't consider where they actually fall in regard to attractiveness in those dating markets. They don't realize how difficult it is to start from scratch, and also the loss of stability in their lives. So whereas you had 2 incomes, now you have to shrivel it down to 1, and you have to survive on your own. So that's going to just create a volatile situation altogether. While you're trying to juggle the same responsibilities you had when you were married, but now even more responsibilities because you can't share the load, and then you're going to try to throw dating in the mix of that as well?
When I was married for 13 years, and I 100% supported my ex-husband in the startup of his business. I created his LLC. I did all of these things. I pushed him to go to his taxidermy school. I made sure that he had a business. I picked the start date. I made the Facebook page. I did all of the things for him. And in the background, I was building my own business and working full time. Fast forward several years later, and we decided to get a divorce. Things just didn't work out. The why doesn't matter, but what does matter, and what I'm really struggling with right now, and I'm sure that I'm not alone, is that I was the breadwinner, right? He was a small business owner, so tax returns, write-offs, all the things. And I worked full-time, W-2, making over 6 figures a year. So when it came down to time for our divorce, even though the reasons of the divorce were not my fault fully, no, I shouldn't say that. I'm just as much to be held accountable for the divorce as him. Anyways, because I made the majority of the money on paper, I was required to take all of the debt in my divorce or pay him alimony or child support. And quite frankly, you got me f***ed up. So I willingly took all of the debt, and 100% am supposed to pay for all of the kids' activities and all of the things, which I do. Literally everybody in my life told me not to do that. And I thought, it's fine. I've got it. I'll be able to handle it. Everything's fine. I'm going to be able to do it. And here we are 2 years out, and I'm literally drowning. I quit my job to take my business full-time last year. I didn't really want to quit. I really wasn't financially ready to quit. And I am just I'm drowning in debt. I get calls every single day. Like, hey, you owe us this money, and hey, you owe us this money. And I'm like literally just trying to pay my rent. It's like, life's not fair. And I know that. And I'm not going to like sit in victim mentality, but like, it should not be this fucking hard.
People don't talk about the trade-offs when you leave a marriage. The financial changes, the lifestyle switch, less support, co-parenting struggles. You don't just lose problems, you gain new ones. And that regret, it really does come from the realization. Realizing what you lost, realizing the problems that exist everywhere, and realizing your role in the issues. But to be honest, a lot of women don't even get to that part, realizing their role in the issue. They'll still blame their partner for everything, rather than looking at themselves and thinking, hey, how did I contribute to this? So all these broads running to the internet to cry about how they missed their marriage, cry about how they missed their husband, how they had a good thing and they ruined it. Cry me a river. I'm sorry, cry me a river. You traded a long-term relationship for a fleeting feeling. The only people I feel bad for are the husband you left and the children whose home was torn apart. Those are the only people in those situations I feel bad for. On the opposite side of that, men who engage in that same behavior of leaving their wife arbitrarily and for leaving their wife over a fleeting feeling, destroying their home over some nonsense, understand you're just as stupid as these broads are. Absolutely just as stupid. Marriage is supposed to be a lifelong commitment. Now, if you have some crazy situation like abuse or things happening to the kids or, financial infidelity, things like that, I completely understand dissolving the marriage. But just because you're not happy right now, when happiness is something you can work on, something you can fix, something you can find within your marriage, I'm sorry, cry me a river when you realize the grass isn't actually greener on the other side. But y'all, I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. How do you feel about this whole video? Do you agree with me where it's like, bro, stop worrying about the grass being greener on the other side and just water the grass that you have? Or do you disagree with me where it's like, no, I have every right to go find myself, and when I don't find myself and I just find myself in more pain and more suffering, then he should take me back because they just made a mistake, Sandra. They just made a mistake. Their husbands should just take them back, or their wives should just take them back. Oh my God. I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like the video, like the video. The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed out into the algorithm. Also, hype the video if that function is available. If you're feeling a little extra generous, the link is in the description to buy your girl a coffee. Thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.